Sag, Amanda here. It's been a while. Let's look at your shapeshift. So I'm going to start with a little inspiration image to get us going for Sagittarius. Sagittarius shift. What is the image to inspire us? A little swan, towel swan in a hotel bedroom from the Scorpio reading that I just did. Just peeked its little head, flipped and flipped again. So I don't know, maybe there's something in the Scorpio reading for some of y'all. Okay, Sagittarius. Yeah, because as I was shuffling some of the decks we're going to use for you today, the cards that were coming out, I was like, oh, okay. Intense. I wonder if this is going to be an intense reading for you, Sag. Here's the image that we're working with so far. You know, it's dark. It's sepia. It's bleak. That's the card, the Scorpio card. Okay, fine. I don't know why I'm so resistant to the readings running together, because they clearly just do. You know, they're very clearly talking to each other, and that's really kind of cool. Bleak. So in the Scorpio reading, there was something really interesting about setting boundaries and like holding your own space as you wait for something, for some really intense emotional energy that you or someone else is going through, like waiting for that to pass so you can come together. That was part of the Scorpio reading. And so now we have this like Scorpio reading energy that is insisting on coming into your reading, which I like. But then there's this, and it sort of looks like there's a bleak outlook maybe that's happening here, because it sort of looks like the little towel swan is looking forward into like a New York winter, you know, or like, I don't know, just like St. Petersburg, you know, like a deeply Russian city, like an old Russian city. That's the energy that I'm getting from this. Maybe things just look a little bleak right now. Maybe even specifically in the love department. Things looking a little bleak. Waiting, really waiting and hoping for those leaves to return and the buds to return to the trees. Something like that. But kind of having to muscle through this winter energy. What's the shape shift for Sagittarius? The shape you're shifting out of, the shape you're shifting into, what that shape shift looks and feels like. Yeah, there's some, yeah, this is so tender. There's some really deep healing that's going on here. There's a rebirth that is definitely wanting to happen. Some sort of going back to go forward is what this feels like. Let's check it out. Shifting out of the womb, haha, and into healing through compassion. This is the Poesis Oracle, by the way. I like that compassion here is a compass. Shifting out of the womb and into healing through compassion. Letting compassion be your guide. Compassion for yourself, compassion for others through whatever this healing process is happening. This is like really deep 12th house energy. Sagittarius. So I wonder about your 12th house, whoever you are. Maybe you have Sag in the 12th house. Hi, this reading could be for you. Okay. I'm drinking coffee in the PM, y'all. Wild moves. So sometimes we have to go back to go forward is just this message that wants to come through. And there's a lot of healing that is possible in this bleak, maybe a little bit dark, intense, internal time. And I say that because we have a womb space here, a dark, intense, internal growth period. Maybe even literally 9 months for some of you. This intense period of growth that is pretty uncomfortable. And maybe the outlook is a little bleak. There's questions coming in for me around like, do we even want to be reborn into a world that looks like this? You know, like why are we even trying to have a baby or like do something new or generate something new when the outlook of the world looks pretty dismal? You know, why do I even care about love when everything looks so bleak? Maybe there's some of that energy and attitude floating around for you right now. Whatever this is, wherever you are in this type of energy, there's a really strong clearing out and healing that is possible when you go back in order to go forward. So there's something about clearing out and healing the past so that you can move forward, so that you can emerge from the womb. Because in this reading, you are shifting out of the womb, which is probably good news for some of y'all. But you might be there for some time because it seems like the thing to learn while you're there is this compassion as compass card. Letting compassion be your guide, compassion for self and others, and like really internalizing that. It's almost like going back. This is really like lineage work and ancestral work, perhaps for some of you. I'm just noticing the time of day here and the light that I have. It's casting this very specific shadow. And it does feel to me like that going, you know, looking behind yourself to see that hidden projection of you, shadow puppets. See, and understanding where you've come from and how that determines your relationship to compassion. Again, compassion with yourself, compassion with others. And like, do you let compassion be your guide? What does that even really mean? Honestly, I've been trying to unpack this card since I got the deck, and it's still working on me. But all the little hearts, it's like every whatever potential spot there is on this compass for the needle to land is on a heart. And so this is the kind of device that's going to guide you towards what feels good for your heart, what is compassionate for your heart, what is kind to you. Like, what would it mean to navigate our visions for our ambitions or our hopes for the future or whatever that is for us? Like, what would that mean to reorient ourselves towards kindness? And how does that shift our goals? Kindness to self, kindness to others. It's like reevaluating your goals or your relationships maybe, and saying, or maybe even past relationships, and saying like, if I was orienting myself directionally, Sagittarius. This is a very Sagittarian card. I'm just realizing, like the seeker, the one that is aiming, that is very directionally oriented. So if in those relationships or in these goals or ambitions or past endeavors, if I had oriented myself towards kindness and compassion, how would that have changed my direction? How would that have changed where I ended up going? it may be that you have to go back and do some of that deep inner healing work in order to emerge from the womb, shift out of the womb, healed. You know, it's like you're going back into the womb to heal. Really seriously look at the 12th house for you. Hook up with an astrologer. They're everywhere. If you need a rec, email me. You know what I mean? Like, check into, go dive deeper into your lineage, into your ancestry, into maybe, you know, where have you come from? And how has that oriented you? And how can you go back and heal some of that so that you can hold the compass now? And so that you can reorient in a way that is much more compassionate and maybe a lot less bleak. I really want to get into this now. This is deep, as suspected, based on the cards that were peeking out in your pre-shuffle. There is a lot more to unpack here, as is often true when you go into those deep spaces like the 12th house. So let's check into this a little bit, Sag. Clarifying now using the dark exact. Let's look at the womb space. You got to go back to go forward. So what is that? If you've enjoyed the first part of this reading, I invite you to explore the whole thing with me for a season over at the Shifting Space. This spring, 2022, I'm testing out this new space devoted to experiencing the shifts more viscerally in connection with other people for the course of an entire season. I'm inviting no more than 30 folks to join this cohort of original founding members of the Shifting Space. This is a chance for me and you to shape the kind of virtual space we want to be a part of for months and years to come. We'll experiment with bi-monthly movement meetups to feel how our bodies are shifting, a community chat space where we can dish on the shifts, and a podcast where we'll connect the dots of all the revelations we're having throughout the season. If this sounds like what you're into, join me at this early stage of the Shifting Space. It'll never be more affordable than it is right now. And as a reward for your input at these early days of the space, you'll keep your original member rate for life. So, come see what it's all about and watch the rest of your reading at unseenhandstarot.com.